Hi guys, what's up? My name is David and welcome back to my channel. So today is the 3rd of June, at least when I'm filming this, and I am officially 2 months post top surgery. And I thought it would be a fun moment to talk about the things that happened and tell you guys 10 things that I did not entirely expect to happen. So first I'm gonna show you my chest. So this is how my chest looks right now in natural daylight. So as you can see, it's not fully flat because, you know, I have muscles, but it's also swollen in some places, like right here, and right here. So this is not the end result yet, but it's getting there. So there's that. So it's not fully healed yet. It still looks and feels kind of weird, but it's much better than it used to be, so I'm happy. Well, so let's get on to the 10 things I did not expect. So, number 1 is that it did not hurt at all. Oh, hello. If you see something moving behind me, that's my cat. Anyways, number 1 is it didn't hurt at all. So when I woke up from surgery, I was expecting to be in at least a moderate amount of pain, but you know, you get anesthesia and pain medication, so you really don't feel anything. And that was weird because I was able to just walk around, move my arms, do everything. It didn't feel like I just got out of surgery. So I also got told when to take pain medication, but it wasn't any like opioids or anything like that. It was just ibuprofen and paracetamol. So even the pain meds I did have to take were not like extreme. It only hurt a bit, I think about week 2.5, when I got a lot of swelling and that hurt, but other than that, I didn't really feel much of it, and it still hasn't regained all the feeling in general, so I'm not in pain at all, so that's great. Number 2 is it's not as flat as I used to get it with a binder. And now this says more about my binder practices than my surgery, because I used to bind like way too tightly. I always want to be like super flat and all that, but now it's not like super flat because it's still a little bit swollen, but also because I have chest muscles, which is normal. And I also told my surgeon that I didn't want to be like flat, I wanted it to look natural. So it does, but it was kind of weird at first when wearing like t-shirts, tight-fitting t-shirts, because it's not flat, but it doesn't look like I have boobs, it's just, I had to get used to that. And number 3 is that it will look bad before it starts looking good. And maybe this one does not apply to everyone, but you know, your body gets cut open, tissue gets removed, and you get sewn back up. So you should not expect to remove your binder for your post-op binder for the first time and see like the results as they're going to be for the rest of your life. You still have to give it a few months to start looking normal. And some people have more complications, some people have less complications. I had more. But it's starting to look okay-ish now. But at first it was swollen, it was bruised, my scars were all red, there were like scabs on my nipples, and now it's starting to look more natural. So if you just get top surgery and it doesn't look great, I'm sure it will. Number 4 is kind of along the same lines, and it's that the healing process is so long. I had never had like surgery before, at least not under full anesthesia, and to like this extent. So I had really no idea how I was going to feel afterwards, how everything was going to heal and all that. Of course, I was given guidelines like when I should expect to be able to do things, feel things, and stuff like that. But it's still different for everyone, and like I don't know, I had the idea that in like a few weeks it was going to look perfect, and it still doesn't, and I'm okay with that. But it was still like kind of eye-opening, like, oh, this is gonna take me a while. Number 5 is that I didn't expect to be able to do the things that I wasn't supposed to do. So in the like first about 6 weeks after surgery, you're not allowed to lift your arms up above your head, and I thought it would be like physically impossible to do that because I thought you'd be like in pain and sore and all that. But I was perfectly able to move my arms everywhere, so I had to like keep myself in check and try not to do that. And the same goes for lifting heavy objects, like you're not supposed to lift anything above like 1 kilogram. Here in the US sometimes they say 10 pounds, so 4.5 kilograms. So I stuck to that because I wasn't able to not lift more than 1 kilogram because I wouldn't be able to like lift my backpack and all that. But yeah, so that was also very possible to do. I just had to try not to overdo that. I think it would be easier if it was actually impossible to do. But now I'm like, well, but I can lift this, so why shouldn't I? But of course I know that can impact the results, so I did my best and I didn't do anything that was not allowed. So number 6 also has to do with lifting things, and it's going back to the gym. So at 6 weeks I was allowed to slowly start going back to the gym. And I was told to like start at 50% of the weights I used to use and then build my strength back up. But I had honestly no idea how it was going to feel to be back in the gym. And when I first was there, I was there for like half an hour, I think. And after that, I had enough. I had to go back home. And I definitely wasn't able to lift 50% of the weights I did before surgery. It was more like 20%. Or less, because I was also scared to overdo things, and I had to check with every exercise like, oh, how does this feel? Should I be doing this? Should I not do this? So that was also kind of difficult. But I managed. Right now, when I go to the gym, I can do most things. I'm still not allowed to train my chest, and I'm trying to steer clear of like overhead exercises because that also impacts your chest. So I just do like arms, core, legs, things like that. And number 7 is also related to sports things, and it's that after a few weeks of not being able to exercise, I started getting like sudden bursts of energy. Because before that I was very tired all the time, and I didn't even think about exercising, things like that. And then suddenly, I think at like 4.5, 5 weeks, I got like a lot of energy and I wanted to go do things, but I still had to wait to hit that 6-week mark. So that was also interesting. I think it was a way of my body telling me like, you're starting to get fine now, so we can get moving, and all that. And because I still try not to over-exercise because I've had problems with that in my past. So I still feel like I don't use up all the energy I have. So sometimes I'm still also very fidgety and bouncy and all that. But I'm fine with that. So number 8 is a funny one, and it is that I've gotten more chest hair since top surgery. Now, it could be because my testosterone dose was also increased, but I know that that is not the only reason. It's also, first of all, kind of a natural mechanism of your body producing more hair in places that are damaged as a way of like healing it. But also, I massage my scars on my chest, as you should after surgery. And like the massaging increases circulation, which then also increases hair growth in those areas. So like around my scars, around my nipples, just a lot of hair started coming in, which is interesting to see. I think it's fun. And number 9 is also something I didn't really expect, but on the other hand I could have seen it coming, and that is that you're constantly aware of your chest. Like, at least I am. I already was before I got top surgery because I didn't want anyone to know I had boobs, so I had to like hide them, and I had to check if I looked flat enough, things like that. And now, because my body is constantly changing, like swelling is going down, scars are getting lighter, things like that, it's like normally if you're a cis person who doesn't get any surgeries, you don't really notice extreme changes in your body like from one week to the other if you just lead a normal healthy life. So it's kind of weird to see your body change in this way. So every day I wake up and I look down and to check if everything looks alright, things like that. I have to stop myself from constantly like feeling it, looking at it, things like that. I think that once it's fully healed and when I don't have to worry about it anymore, then I will stop feeling so aware of it. But for now, it's certainly an interesting feeling. And to end this video, number 10 is that it's really not that noticeable to the outside world and no one really cares. And I mean this in the most positive way possible, because I think it's kind of reassuring. Like, if you pass as male before getting surgery and you get surgery, unless you walk around shirtless 24/7, no one is gonna know, because no one assumed you had breasts in the first place. And the same goes for scars. Yes, right now more people know that having scars on your chest could mean that you're trans, but not everyone assumes that. Cis men get gyno too, you could have had surgery for other reasons. So having scars on your chest doesn't necessarily mean you're trans. So the only one that really notices is you, and well, people who knew how you looked like before you got surgery and after you got surgery. It might sound really weird that no one really cares, because there's still people on the internet who care way too much about what trans people do with their bodies. But they only care when you tell them. If they don't know you've gotten surgery, they cannot see it, know it, things like that. So if you want to get top surgery and you're worried about what others might think, stop. Stop worrying about what other people think and do what's best for you. I did, and I am happy that I did. Well then, that was everything I had to say in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.